Title: The Classroom Surprise in a Small Town, nestled between rolling hills. There was a school called Greenfield Elementary. The students of Mrs. Johnson's third grade class were buzzing with excitement as they filed into the classroom on a bright Monday morning. But today, something was different. As the children settled into their seats, they noticed a small, brown dog sitting quietly beside Mrs. Johnson's desk. The dog had big, curious eyes and a wagging tail that made everyone smile. "Good morning, class," Mrs. Johnson greeted, her voice cheerful. "I'd like you all to meet Max. He's going to be our special guest for the day." The children gasped in surprise. They had never had a dog in their classroom before. Max looked around the room, his tail wagging even faster, as if he knew he was the center of attention. "Max is a very friendly dog, and he's here to help us learn something important today," Mrs. Johnson explained. "We're going to talk about kindness and how we can be good friends to each other, just like Max is a good friend to everyone he meets." Throughout the day, Max joined the students in all their activities. During reading time, he curled up next to their chairs, listening quietly as they read stories aloud. When it was time for math, Max sat by the board, his head tilted as if he was trying to solve the problems too. At recess, the children took turns playing with Max in the schoolyard. They threw a ball for him to chase, and he brought it back every time, his tongue lolling out happily. The children laughed and ran, their hearts full of joy. Back in the classroom, Mrs. Johnson asked the students to share what they had learned from Max's visit. One by one, the children raised their hands. "I learned that being kind makes everyone feel happy," said Sarah, smiling at Max. "Max taught me that it's important to listen and be patient," added Tom, who had spent extra time reading to Max during the break. "Most importantly," Mrs. Johnson said, "Max showed us that kindness isn't just something we do with words, but with our actions too." As the day came to an end, the children said their goodbyes to Max. They were sad to see him go, but knew they had made a new friend. Mrs. Johnson promised that Max would visit again soon, and the children cheered. From that day on, the students of Mrs. Johnson's class made a special effort to be kind to one another, just like Max had taught them. And whenever they needed a reminder